Welcome back to the show. It's always great to see you. I want to congratulate you, by the way, on your Emmy nomination for Euphoria. Come on! What a year! Thank you for coming back to our show and to seeing us. Are you kind of bittersweet, sad that Euphoria is over?
Of course. I mean, it was so, such a huge part of my life, and it was so much in my 20s, and I feel like I made so many lasting, loving friendships, and I learned so much about myself. And I think the most important thing that I always carry with me is the people who connected and loved Rue.
Yeah,
and that,
we love Rue.
Yeah.
You were fantastic.
So.
Well deserved on that nomination. You've been all over the world promoting The Odyssey, so thank you for stopping by here.
Thanks for having me.
You had the premiere last night in New York. It was giant. Take me back to the beginning.
Okay.
How do you get cast, and how did you know that you were going to be in this movie?
Well, Tom got the call.
Ooh. Okay.
Christopher Nolan called. And my heart was just so full. I was so excited
for
him.
We love Tom.
You know what I mean? He's the best, and he deserves this.
He deserves it.
So much.
Yes.
And I was just so excited. And also, I'm obviously his biggest fan, but I'm also a Chris Nolan fan.
Yeah.
Right? When that kind of opportunity comes around, I was just so excited.
Yeah,
I didn't even put myself in that equation at all. We already won,
Yeah.
And then he had another meeting. So he had the script. I may have did a little, peeky peek.
Okay, yeah, you're allowed to peek.
I gotta know.
You're allowed
There's a
to peek,
Christopher Nolan
yes.
script in my house. What am I gonna do?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so I looked, and then he went off to his meeting, and then when he came home, I was like, okay, tell me all about it. How was he? What was it like? You know what I mean? I was so ready, so excited, and he goes, read this again, and I was like, what? Why? I just read it. We just read it last night, and he's like, read it again, but with Athena in mind, and I was like,
okay.
Yo, stop it right now. And I was just I freaked out. I was so grateful. And
Really?
that he got to be the one to tell me.
Come on.
And
I love that dude.
it was so special.
I love him so much. He's a great guy.
Me too.
I know you love him more. You love him more. But what was it like meeting Christopher Nolan?
Oh, I was just trying to play it cool,
Of course.
Because, I'm a
you
super
can't.
fan. I can't come in too strong, you know what I mean?
But you are a super fan.
But of course.
Yeah, everyone is.
Of course, and I think what he represents in our industry, and I think I would do anything just to kind of be on a set like that and be able to watch and learn. I love being on sets, and I love, even if I'm not working often, I'll come to set just to watch. And when will you have the opportunity to be on a set like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But where was he, in his office? What was he doing?
He was in his office, and
was his back towards you, and he spun
he
around?
spun around.
Yeah, he spun around and then, I didn't know you were there. Yeah, I didn't see it.
Light, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hoita, really. No, it was actually so chill. It was so chill. And then an hour in, I was like, yo, I'm kind of kicking it with Christopher Nolan right now.
This is working. This is working.
Yeah, it was
But
working.
did you tell him how much of a fan you were?
I did it in a cool way, It was a nice transition because there was my favorite Christopher Nolan movie is Interstellar.
Yeah.
So, shout out. And so there was a little kind of replica of Tars, the robot that's in the film.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, this is my time to kind of ask about Interstellar.
Oh, so you go,
yeah, so I was like, I love Tars, yo, and that's how I opened up that.
But you are a super fan of Interstellar.
Yeah.
You actually brought us a video of you explaining to Hunter Schafer.
Yes.
On the set of Euphoria.
This was at home. This is in my living room.
This is in your
Tom
living
is
room.
recording this, yeah.
All right. This is explaining the.
Interstellar.
Just explaining
Anybody
the movie.
who needs help, I got you.
Yeah, and it was. Thank you for bringing this to us. We actually had to cut it down a little bit because it was.
It's I cut it down before I sent it to you.
Thank you.
It was 10 minutes long.
It's extensive. It's worth it.
It's very detailed.
Take a look at this.
Oh no.
Prior to this, in her life, she's been growing up with this thing in her room, right? And she's been knocking on his door and doing it. That's what I was saying with that. And she's telling her dad, and dad's like, what the f*** are you talking about? But dad, he follows one of those things, and it takes him to NASA, which ultimately ends him up here, right? And then he goes off, whatever. In her life, while he's doing this crazy this, when he gives her the coordinates, what's actually happening
Goes there.
over here.
Oh, it's over here. No, while he's doing that, this is happening.
Yes. And I don't know if you can see, But I was mapping it out on on a box.
Yes.
So she could understand the timeline,
I
the
love
dimensions. You feel
how
what I'm saying?
much you're nerding out about it.
Yeah,
I
no,
love it so much.
I do. I love it so much.
And thank you for bringing that
Yeah, of course.
video. Well, you've done massive movies: Dune, Spider-Man. How does amazing work, but amazing sets? How does it compare to this? Because what I've heard and talked to the cast so far, people's minds are blown.
It's extraordinary. Like
It is.
being on a Christopher Nolan set is unlike anything. I think I remember my first day. I kind of was dropped into Troy. Like I was fully at the war, you know? And the night before I had done a night shoot on Euphoria.
You're
So
going
you
right
can
from
imagine
Euphoria.
that kind of switch up in like less than 24 hours.
You're like, how is your brain handling this?
I don't know. I have no idea. And I honestly felt like I was still dreaming almost because you walk onto these sets and they are, I mean, you've heard the scale, the scope, the attention to detail.
Where was this set? 'Cause it was different countries.
Yeah,
right?
I went everywhere.
Yeah, you did.
I went everywhere. And I felt bad because I was kind of popping in and out. You know, people, it was really an odyssey. They had gone through so much together and I was just like, hey, y'all. See you in Scotland.
Yeah,
see you in Iceland, you know?
Yeah.
But it was such a privilege and such a joy. And I was just honestly trying to like take all of that excitement and trying to use it, you know? Because, you know, sometimes you can psych yourself out, you know? You can get in your head about like, I mean, being on a set like that with people that I admire, the level, the scale, the amount of background
acting,
performers,
everything.
the acting, the fire, the whole thing is happening, and I don't want to be the thing that's holding this up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to be messing up my lines.
I love that you're still humble about this. You're Zendaya. You're
I know.
allowed to be. They're lucky to have you on the set.
It was
Good for you.
so cool.
And this is something I think everyone should see in a theater
Yes.
if you can. I saw it.
I know
Yeah,
that's right.
as big as you can,
Yes.
IMAX or whatever you want to see, but it's
Yeah.
shot in IMAX.
Yes,
Yeah.
entirely.
Have you ever snuck into a theater and watched one of your movies?
Yes, I have.
You have.
Yes, I have.
Really?
One of the very like early Spider-Man movies, me and my family, we snuck into the back, and that was really fun. But I remember it was the last Spider-Man premiere was so special because we knew that big, you know, the Spider-Man were back. You know,
Yes.
I remember knowing like, oh, it's coming, and
Yeah.
like people they don't know,
And you're like, I want to look at the audience and the movie
and
at the same
getting
time.
to
Like,
turn around and watch people's reactions is so fun.
Which
and
one's-
that's the movie-going experience.
Yeah, it's fun.
You know, getting to experience something in a theater with other people. It's so special.
Yes.
It's so special.
How do we set up the Odyssey and who you play?
Oh, well,
Yes.
that's a tough.
That's a lot, yeah.
That's
It's a
tough
3,000-year-old story.
Yeah. Okay, it's quite dense.
Yes.
You know.
I'll say Matt Damon is trying to find his way home.
Yet again.
Let's do that.
Yes.
Yes, I love it. I want to show a clip. Here's Zendaya in The Odyssey. Take a look at this.
Why can't God speak in ways we understand?
Who doesn't understand thunder? Fire. A child's smile. Good harvest.
You hide yourselves from us.
Look. Who's moving that cloud? Massing those birds? Who's moving the water?
Come on now. It's great. You have to see it. It's amazing. Zendaya, everyone. The Odyssey opens in theaters everywhere this Friday. More with Zendaya after the break. Stick around.